I saw a really interesting quote on social media that got me thinking the other day. It said this. It said, "You can't force writing." So let me ask you a question. Do you agree or disagree with that statement? Let me know in the chat. Gotta tell you, this one got me thinking, and it got me reacting in a certain way. I believe that a belief like you can't force writing is a belief that cripples you. Here's what it does. It holds your future hostage. Hostage to what? Well, I believe that you should never allow your future to be reliant upon your mood at any one given moment in a time. Now, I recognize that there are sometimes I feel like doing things, sometimes I don't feel like doing things. Sometimes I don't feel like doing things for months at a time. And right there's where the problem is. That if you don't feel like writing, you don't feel like going live, you don't feel like doing video, you don't feel like whatever it is, what ends up happening is you might not write, do video, write, go live, whatever it is for months at a time. And what have you just done to your future in doing that? You eliminated that 3-month block during which time if you just did one a day, you would have done 90 new articles, 90 emails, 90 videos, 90 lives. And you didn't do them because you weren't in the mood. And if you think about that, what does that do to your future when you rely upon something like that? Here's what I believe. I believe this entire process is a mental game. Back when I was young and in sports, there were days where I didn't feel like working out. There were days where I didn't feel like doing whatever. Maybe my body was hurting. Maybe I had an injury, maybe whatever. Do you think the coach let me say, I don't feel like working out today? And it's, okay, go ahead. Just go sit over there in the bleachers and watch. No, that's not the way it worked, because the coach understands that you have to play the mental game. Now, may I make a suggestion that if you're struggling with any of these things, let's just say writing, okay, that you switch that mental game to your favor. That instead of saying, hey, that initial thought that started this whole thing, you can't force writing, you switch that to, I can write on demand. Now, nothing changed. Your skill level didn't change. Your abilities didn't change. Nothing changed except you said in your mind, instead of, I can't write, you said, I can write anytime I feel like it. Trying to make that thing get, there we go. I can write anytime I feel like it. And as soon as you start saying that in your brain, then what ends up happening is your brain starts saying, yeah, I can write anytime I feel like it. And here's what happens when you do that. When you say, I can write anytime I feel like it, sometimes when you sit down and write, there's no words there. And so here's what you do. If I can't write, I write anyway. And so what I do is maybe I start in the middle, because oftentimes the hardest part for me is how to start the whole thing. Or I speak it, transcribe it, and then I edit it. Another way of getting that writing out. Or maybe you just start writing anything. You start writing about the weather outside, whatever it is, to get you in the mood. And then as soon as you start to see some quality words coming out of your brain, you simply switch to the topic that you should be writing on. Or maybe you set a time to write. I'm going to really blow this. One of the famous writers, I think it's Stephen King, basically says, hey, I can write anytime I want to, as long as it's 8 o'clock in the morning. And I just totally mangled that whole concept. But basically the concept was, I write every day at 8 o'clock in the morning. And my writing's going to be there when it happens. I've trained my brain to come up with words at 8 o'clock every single morning. And there are also a whole bunch of writing exercises out there that if you can just Google them, there are people who can help you with your writing that can help you to be able to start the process of becoming a better writer, to start the creativity process, to get over blocks, all those kinds of things. I encourage you to think about this. What things that are important in your business life are currently reliant upon your mood? Identify those. Now, what can I do like these suggestions to come up with something that makes that important thing no longer be mood reliant, enabling you to produce even if you aren't in the mood? Think about it. You want to take control. I can write on demand. I can go live on demand. I can do video on demand. Even if I'm having a really bad day, I can still figure out a way to do it. How can you do that for yourself? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is Don Crowther saying, just go do this stuff. I can't even say my own tagline right. Let's try that again. Just go do this stuff.